frustrated when, despite all of your hard work, things do not turn out the way that you want them to? Are you ready to finally be rewarded for all of your good work and have fantastic relationships and a satisfying love life? Welcome to the Universal Love Story. I am Lauren K. Wyatt, love psychic, illusion dismantler, and owner of Love Renegades. In this episode, we are going to dive deep into the law of satisfaction. This is the law of love that can keep us in our comfort zone by keeping us from taking emotional risks. So sometimes we can be so accomplished in one area of our life or many areas of our life where we feel completely satisfied and at home. Things are flowing, things are going well. But then there's this one area that seems to creep up from time to time where we feel like it's just not working in our favor no matter what we're doing or not doing. And this is the essence of the law of satisfaction. When it comes to love and relationships, divine order can get a little stressed out because there is conflict, right, in relationships.
Sure.
It's just you have two egos. There's going to be things that happen. And not that anybody really enjoys that, but you especially, Victoria, it can be so not fun for you.
Well, I think so also because the place that I am in my life, you give my age, you talk about where I am professionally, you talk about, how old my son is, and just where I am today, and being able to align with somebody else that has those similar things going on in their life, it's a challenge to put two people together based on where we are right now today in our lives.
I get it, and
it's a challenge.
I understand, and it's a challenge and it's an opportunity.
Yes.
And this is an opportunity for you to really love you more. And during our time, we're going to find how you get to do that so that you can really invite and welcome in someone who's at your level.
And that's my goal for our time together.
As we continue on with our path, as you have, you've done just beautifully, since we were working together, since we stopped and now we're back, you're doing so awesome that there are just some things that are ready to clear out and hit the road, because they're those, how you're doing construction on your home.
Yes. And
getting the energy to flow better. That's what we're doing right now. So what I loved is that you really stepped into your own authority and you looked at it and you made a great decision for you. And what we're clearing are these negative thought forms.
Okay.
And negative doesn't mean bad or wrong. It just means that it's causing this, this shaky separation, and the energy of it was obedience. So you are obedient to no one.
To mine own self.
Yes.
Yeah.
You listen within and you pay attention to what you want to experience.
Yes.
And so that's going. From now on, whenever you feel that, and this can come up in dating, and they're telling me to talk to you about it in dating, is sometimes we want, especially someone who's divine order, sometimes you may want to be good and, proper, and, that can sometimes get in the way of what your heart authentically desires.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that in dating profiles that I read, and while it all sounds what my mom would want for me, so to speak, I in myself say, I don't know how long that would really give me the satisfaction and the happiness that I want.
Absolutely. So
that sounds right, but
it's not.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect segue into the next thing we're clearing.
Okay.
So there's this other block that came up for you that it's totally like killing your mojo and your dating life, and it's so similar to what you just said. And what's interesting about this is that it has really nothing to do with your personal history. Like maybe for a time it reflected choices that you've made, but now, no. And so what it is it's actually it's a genetic block. So what this means is that in your family bloodline, and I'm getting that it was on mom's side of the family, not on dad's, where there's this energy of settling. It's like half a loaf is better than none.
I think that my mom used to think that, maybe because you know, as a parent they want to see you married, you know, the house, the kids, whatever. But she has come into that, she sees that I'm happy and she sees that my life is fulfilling, so that is no longer the way that she communicates with me. And that's been a long time since she's been that way with me, but there was a time, it's like, well, are you dating yet? You know, have you found anybody? You know, that's how the conversations always started, and she doesn't ask that anymore.
See, and that's awesome, and you trained your family how to treat you.
Yeah.
And I love that you set those boundaries and you modeled what was working for you and what wasn't.
But then it comes to my standards. I don't want to jeopardize them. I don't want to forget about what they are, because I've had the experience of dating people that were great to take home to my mother, you know, and I'm just going to say that in that sense, that my mother's not like that, but, you know, they're great to take home to your family, but was I really fulfilled? And I've dated people like that, and I know that it's not going to happen for me like that. I'm not going to date just for the sake of dating.
Victoria, what we have in front of you is what one of our other lovely cast members has called the tray of truth. So as you look at this tray, what comes into your heart or mind?
Well, I liked seeing this one because I'm
artist.
allowing more of that to lead in my life. This is La Reina, is just kind of a nickname for me. Which
of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, see, I laughed because you came in early when I was preparing. And I was like, I guess these are, I said, I'm going to figure out what the other two are as I go. And I was just like, I'm just going to get these cards ready and I'm going to trust. And then this one like fell out of the deck and I laughed and I said, of course.
You remember you said that. And you're going to say, you said, I'll let you know when we talk.
I'll let you know.
There she is.
Yeah, La Reina, the queen.
Yeah.
Now let's start with the queen. What do you feel when you hold that card?
To be quite honest with you, I'm looking at her dress, her headdress, and her jewelry, and it says to me, like, she's royalty. Obviously she's queen, but and she's probably very well regarded. Because you know how appearances and first impressions make a difference, and that's the impression that I got. My intention is to go after what's presented in front of me.
And you also just declared that you're now ready for your dream relationship. The guide said that you've been focused so much on being a very strong mother for your child and in providing for him and for yourself, and you've been very focused. And in the past, even though you said that like you wanted a great relationship, you didn't at the time have the space to really share your heart with someone. Now you're able to allow in something that you've wanted for a while. All of these fears, all of these limiting beliefs are coming up right now. All of us have a saboteur within us, and it's something that comes up when we're really close to having what we want. And all of those limiting beliefs and all of that fear just comes up. And the way that it's placed, it's often in how you would relate to groups of people. And the way that it's coming forth right now is in dating. While it is like a one-on-one experience, it's like you with like a whole group.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like a whole group of suitors. And you might be feeling overwhelmed, and the different things that are coming forth for you about your age and
Body image.
body image, because your divine order and beauty is very much a part of who you are. And then directly diagonal
Is judge.
is judge. Did we talk about judge last time?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm a year older, but when I think about my health, I'm doing all right. I mean, I'm glad for what I have. I'm blessed in many ways, and so it's just that little bit of self-doubt, because at the end of the day, I am single.
Yes. So there were a lot of things that you said, and I want to shed light on a bit of an illusion
Yeah.
and limitation that's separating you right now. Is sometimes we think that just because, when I say it aloud, it'll make sense.
Okay.
Sometimes we think that just because we don't have something right now, that we're never going to get it. Sometimes it appears to her that when is this going to happen? I've been waiting for this to happen. And even though it looks like things aren't changing, that's just an illusion, because there are always opportunities to make new choices. Even the smallest things, the things that we tell ourselves won't even matter, if we can really just address these things, then it could be that one simple thing that we need to do that could really open the gates of love for us. And that's one way you can break the law of satisfaction. And what happens there is we put a lot of energy into the past. We can put a lot of energy into regret. And we can be mean to ourselves and put whatever it is that we want as a marker of success or self-worth. And even though I know that logically you don't think that this is true, and if you were to hear another woman in the same situation, this a negative manifestation of the judge and the saboteur, where the saboteur is instigating the judge to be the jerky judge, is that you're thinking, gosh, you're not good enough because you don't have this relationship yet.
Mm-hmm. It's as if I can create so much goodness in my life if I compartmentalize. There's goodness in my professional career, much goodness that I created. I think about my relationships that I have, like just lifelong friendships, beautiful relationships with, and sometimes these guys say, well, why aren't you doing that? You can create all this other beauty in your life.
You've been moving toward it, and as we said at the beginning, while there's been an intention, it was kind of like a someday, or if he just like waltzes into my life, that's fine, but there really hasn't been like psychic space for that up until now. As incredibly like beautiful that you are, and how helpful and how much you uplift and inspire other women and people, and how you're incredible at keeping your shit together. Your kingdom is like, your empire is beautiful, your queendom.
My queendom.
you know, behind closed doors, when this saboteur and this judge and the nun, because we know that nuns can be mean. You're probably mean to you, and all of this is very human, but it's drama that can really push love away. A lot of successful people encourage us to just focus on the positive. Eye on the prize, keep going, ignore the fear, keep going, ignore the fear. And there's a reason why this doesn't always work, and why there's this one part of your life, probably relationships, where you feel the most unsatisfied. And that's because the negative needs to be addressed. You need to get honest with yourself about why you don't have what it is that you have, and you need to get honest with yourself. What am I afraid of? And maybe it's just as simple as, well, I don't want to be humiliated. I don't want to look bad if I fail. The law of satisfaction is very image-centric in this way. And a lot of times people try to protect their image. Their image is this wonderful achiever of a person, this image of having it all together, that they don't do anything that they feel would threaten this image. And I do feel that a lot of times it's not conscious. It's just something that this junior has become so adept at doing to succeed. And it works in so many other areas. But when it comes to love, you absolutely need to open your heart. You need to get real about what you're afraid of, and you need to take that emotional risk. That's how you break the law of satisfaction. I want to talk about how you get to be more you in the whole dating process.
Okay. I mean, I have those conversations with myself.
So tell me what
what
your self has told yourself.
Myself hasn't figured it out yet, but myself questions like, okay, how can you make this work? Starting a business. How can you survive a divorce, 17 years together, and still come out happy? Me.
You
Victoria.
and you.
Okay, and then Victoria, how can you start with these grassroots efforts in community activism and grow into, what are we, 6 months, 7 months into this? How can you, Victoria, use those same skills into creating this relationship? So I have those conversations.
So I love that. So you're already there, and now let's look at what about the dating process do you tolerate?
I tolerate. There is stuff to tolerate.
I know. So what are you tolerating specifically?
Well, it's part of the process, so it's more so in tolerating, it's just more accepting that it's part of the process, is the beginnings of getting to know somebody, the small talk. Mm-hmm. And when you're on dating apps, the beginning is all chit chat, small talk, and it's part of the process. If that's the channel I'm going to use, online dating, it is part of the process, so I have to accept.
It is, on one hand, and there is a lot of bullshit. I want to talk about how you can really cut through it.
I think that, to be honest with you, I think that I've gotten so much more refined in how I react to it, mm-hmm. and that I cut out a lot of the crap. But you still have that little group of people that want to reach out to you, they want to invite you somewhere, and then you don't hear from them again. And that's just, again, that is part of the crap that you deal with. And then you just delete them, right? They're gone. But you had those moments of back and forth exchange to just all of a sudden they're not talking to you. Mm-hmm. That's happens.
Do people that you're that you feel like that interest with, are those the people who don't respond?
Yeah, because I'm only responding to people that I show interest in also. There has to be interest.
So okay. So and then it seems good, and you're like, yeah, let's do that, and then he's just like ghosts you.
And then like, okay, we'll reach out about 6 o'clock, and then it's 8 o'clock, and I haven't heard from him.
Not cool.
And that happens. That does happen.
Yeah, people can be Flaky. So is there anything, as I know that you're not like a flaky person by any means, so let's get creative here, because there might be something that, and what your guides wanted me to talk to you about today was like the interesting way that fear is kind of creeping in to your dating process. It's great that you would not want to hurt anyone. And you get to trust that however you handle it is a way that you can be at peace with yourself. So if you're holding back on appreciating the moment with someone, then that's scarcity. You know, because you have something to give or contribute in that moment. So you're being called to really, like, we call it being authentic, and I know that word's kind of played out. But so when I say that, I'm like, really like connect with your heart and share it. And for you, in this case, this is like appreciating what's being given to you and appreciating what you've attracted. And you can, yes, you can thank the universe for it, but you can also look that person directly in the eye and say, you know what, I really appreciate the effort that you put into this, or however it comes out. Another area of the law of satisfaction is the area of emotional risk. And because these people have it so together, and because their lives are really, really flowing, they don't want to knock anything off course by doing something stupid or doing something unpredictable. Because, then there would be drama and chaos, and this beautiful existence that you've created could be crushed because of one emotional risk. Which, of course, that's an illusion too. Completely understandable, but it's simply not true. Because it really, to have that dream relationship like Victoria wants to have, she needs to open her heart, connect with her passion, and do some risking for love. She doesn't need to jump off a cliff. The risk could be as simple as letting someone know, you know what, I really like you. I like how this is going. Telling someone, I like you, but I feel afraid for some reason. If a person who's the law of satisfaction can even admit that they're afraid, because they usually do everything that they can to kind of keep that at bay by keeping things moving. But it is always necessary to make that new change, and a lot of times it comes from taking an emotional risk and through being honest. So if you feel like this law of love is affecting you, please connect with your heart.
Hey Lauren and the Love Renegades, this is Victoria coming to you from Austin, and I'm going to name this segment The Pipeline. Lauren, in our last session, you and I talked about how is it that I can have, or I can create success in so many of the other areas of my life. How do I create that same success in my dating life? I think I might have found a solution, or maybe the answer. So last week when we were talking, you asked me, how many guys do I want to be talking to? And I said 3 guys. And in that sense, I'm filling my pipeline. I'm a sales professional, and if I want to look at it in a language that I understand, maybe this is going to work. So this past weekend, in talking with the 3 different guys, I had set up dates for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week with 3 different guys, and then also on Friday with one of the same guys. So for whatever reasons, the dates on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday did not work out for valid reasons. But tomorrow I do have another date with one of the same guys where it's a meetup. He is a golf pro in the city. He's new to the area. And so he offered to give me golf lessons tomorrow. So that should be really fun. So in speaking the language that I understand, I had to fill my pipeline with 3 guys. I had to set up 4 dates so that tomorrow I could end up at least with a date for the week because my pipeline was full, and therefore I was successful. So perhaps that's the way I need to be thinking about this. Talk to you later. Bye.
We just did some Reiki, and how are you feeling, Victoria?
I'm feeling more relaxed than when I walked in the door.
So what I want you to look at now is, where are you settling? Like, what are you doing that you're just doing because you don't think you have a choice? Let's look at what happened with the guys that didn't work out.
Okay, so I'll be specific, give you some specific examples.
Okay.
Last time I told you about a guy that lived in San Antonio, and there was a lot of commonality.
Yes. Yeah.
And so in my mind, what I'm aiming for too is that one of my girlfriends is getting married in November. In my head, I was like, okay,
You
I
want
want
a date for the wedding.
I want a date.
Sure.
And I thought, oh, this guy's in San Antonio, the wedding's in San Antonio, maybe it'll work out. But I went out with him 3 times, and all 3 times he was not put together. He's sloppy, his appearance, like, and that's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I had really good conversations with him, I couldn't, because it happened the 3rd time. And the 3rd time was like, maybe that's just
So you
what
felt
it is.
like he just didn't care?
Doesn't take care of himself.
Did you give him that feedback?
No.
Does he still contact you?
No, he hasn't in a week. I think he might have got my body language, or I don't know. He's also busy right now trying to get moved, so who knows when he moves.
Well, yeah, but it's good.
So
It's good feedback.
if the opportunity came up, maybe I would.
Just like, hey, look, I'm not, just say, I really enjoyed our connecting, and I noticed it didn't seem like you really tried that you put forth any effort into yourself.
Yeah, and he
And that does,
he owned it all 3 times. He said, I know that I'm just kind of putting, this last time, he's like, I'm sorry, because he had a beanie
so
on.
even good that he owned it, so
Yeah.
you can bring it up and say,
Yeah.
it really it made me feel like I wasn't a priority for you.
Yes.
What's coming forth is that there is an infinite and abundant amount of possibilities here. Okay?
Okay, so let me say something else.
Sure.
I upped my age range by 1 year
Good.
just yesterday.
Britt mentioned something about that to me, that
Yeah.
she did that. She put it 1 year lower and then 1 year higher. And then what happened?
So I put it 1 year higher, and of course there's that whole new pool of people that are that 1 year difference. So it gave me new opportunities, or new prospects
That is great.
by 1 year.
It's funny how these simple tweaks,
Algorithms.
these algorithms,
Right.
can really go a long way. And this goes this way in life. It's like, if you're willing to change your focus or shift your perspective just a teeny tiny bit, you can open up so much.
I also changed the geographic distance from being short to more distance.
So I bring this up now because of the energy work we did, the discussion we're having about, and your intention to honor that and seeing the forest for the trees, is is that the expression?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you want something, Victoria, you can have it. And sometimes what we want, it may not appear that it can just fit just into our circumstances. Sometimes things need to be moved around. Sometimes different opportunities present themselves. So the whole point that I'm making here is that sometimes our mind wants to figure out how everything is supposed to work, and the universe and like the true divine order is so much smarter and more intelligent than we'll ever be. Victoria is a very strong woman, and she continues to make amazing changes as she breaks the law of satisfaction. How does this law of love resonate with you? I would love to hear about it. So leave your comments with your reflections and your insights, your experiences, your questions, all of that, and come hang out with me over in our Facebook group at the Revolt for Love Love Revolution.